So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being no problem at all, 1 being as bad as it gets, where was this blade before you start?
Oh, this is about a 1.
Okay. Seems like most of the time I get it wrong. This past week, my wife and I had the privilege of going up and meet for the first time Dave of Davey Slogging, and I encourage you to check out his channel. He's a fine young man and he knows what he's doing when it comes to cutting trees. But we met him and his wife and their kids. It's a really wonderful family. Their church, as an annual event, they drive down to West Virginia to do mission work in really an impoverished area of the country, and a lot of West Virginia goes through the same thing in that, you know, so many coal mines have shut down. He invited my wife and I up to work with their church in building handicap ramps, cutting down dead trees, or whatever the need is at a particular residence. And so we got there, introduced ourselves. I had some sawbucks that I had built for him, sawhorses, and gave those to him. And You remember that video?
Yeah, I can smell the cedar already.
I don't have red cedar, do you?
No.
What do you think about it?
I love it.
Pretty cool?
Yeah.
Well, those are yours.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well, like I said on the video, I was making them for a friend, so I figured I'd just adopt you.
Well, thank you.
But I knew we'd probably need a set while we're working here, and I didn't want to take them back home, so I just said, well, I'll just give those to Davey.
No, they're awesome.
And I think he's going to enjoy using those. And a couple of other little things, and he gave me a couple of things. We chatted for a while. We had some time before dinner, and so Dave asked me, he said, well, you want me to sharpen one of your chainsaws? Well, absolutely, I want you to sharpen one of my chainsaws. So we took the chainsaw up, let down the tailgate of his truck. Maybe not the most ideal setting for sharpening a chainsaw. That's what this video is about. It's, I guess, two things. One, how you can sharpen a chainsaw on the fly if you know what you're doing. And, well, I hate to admit it, but how many of us don't know how to sharpen chainsaws? But just watching him, I feel like there's no question the next time I need to sharpen my blade, I'm going to be able to do it. There's several things throughout this video, tips, questions that I ask him, that I think all of you who may have trouble sharpening a chainsaw, I tried to ask questions. Really, I wasn't asking them so much for, you know, other people's benefits as it was for mine, but I think these questions that I asked him and the answers that he gave us will benefit all of us who have difficulty. A lot of times, and you probably know this as well as I do, people that do chainsaw sharpening videos are professionals, just like Dave is. They know what they're doing, and they take for granted, or I don't know if they take for granted, but maybe they don't quite understand the frustrations that you and I have that don't do it all the time. Now, I've cut down hundreds, if not thousands, of trees over my lifetime and sharpened my chainsaw hundreds of times. And sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong. Seems like most of the time I get it wrong. But anyway, come along, and I think you'll enjoy the lessons that I received here in this introductory time of meeting Dave. We had a great week, and I'll be showing you some more of the things that we did throughout the week. Thank you for joining me in. Let's check this out. I know you did tell one time where you get your files.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I'm gonna forget the name now.
Yeah, other than technique, that's pretty important little tidbit in it, having the right file.
Yeah, pferd. Yeah, it's a 3/8 file, pferd. Well, it's 7/32, so it's the exact size.
So this one does. See, it's like that.
You need to tighten that. Yes, sharp file too makes a huge difference. This one actually, I think this one, well, it's brand new. Never mind. I had a dull one in there. I just showed you the difference when it comes to cutting anyways.
Right.
You don't feel that?
How much pressure do you feel like you're, I mean, I know it probably depends on what kind of condition it's in.
So the condition of this, I'm just trying to get the top plate file back as fast as I can because the top plate's all, as you can see, all chewed up.
Right.
So right now I'm just trying to get the top plate pulled back. And then once I get a nice edge across, you see how the gullet kind of like ramps up?
I do.
I sharpen it until the gullet until I get to where I like my hook at.
Okay.
Dad, can you eat these apples? They're all today.
They're gonna be a little sour.
But can you eat them?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to be, you know, you can go like this a little bit if you want.
Yeah.
Or like this a little bit. But if you do this, you're gonna bring this back a lot faster.
Right. Now, as far as your angle this way, are you in any way considering the line that's on that, or are you just going by your experience?
I'm just going by what I'm used to. I do sometimes look at the line for a guide. Sometimes if I find looking at the line as I file gets me the closest. But when I first started out, you know, some teeth would be like super sharp angled and the other side would be like super flat angled.
Right.
My next video that's coming up, not the next one, so the one that's coming out on Thursday, I hit barbed wire in a tree. And then I was talking about, because I've seen a lot of videos lately of people saying that you got to count your swipes when you're sharpening your chain.
You got to do what?
Count your swipes.
Okay.
So like if I like do like 15 swipes on this,
right,
then I have to do 15 on that one
right,
and this one,
right,
which is false. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
I was explaining how that works, and I was showing how my saw still cut straight after not doing that. So
that's, yeah. When I first started carpentry in the 70s, we didn't have carbide blades for our circular saws.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
So,
hand sharpener.
so every evening when I would get home, I'd make sure that I had 3 blades sharp for the next morning. I could not stand and I love picking up a circular saw that had a sharp blade on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Same with a chainsaw.
yeah. Oh, is there anything worse?
I don't think so. Trying to cut through something and there's smoke rolling out and it's not doing anything.
Yeah. Oh. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being no problem at all, 1 being as bad as it gets, where was this blade before you start?
Oh, this is about a 1.
Okay.
You can see how all the teeth are curled way down in. It's missing all that chrome for like the first 1/8 inch or so.
Uh-huh.
And then the tips completely just rocked on it.
Yeah. You know what? Somebody told me cause that riding it in the back of my truck. Hey, it doesn't ride in the back of my truck unless this thing's on it.
Yeah.
So I knew that wasn't a problem.
No, this looks like more of a rock problem.
Okay.
Mud, rock,
Right.
metal.
I can't imagine I'd get into any of that.
You see how the file's kind of just sliding right through it now?
Uh-huh.
You hear the difference?
Uh-huh. When it gets quiet, you're getting right.
What's that?
When it gets quiet, you're getting right.
Yeah. I've also learned, like, feeling how sharp it is with my thumb will usually tell me if that's exactly how I want it or not.
Uh-huh.
There's times where I sharpen my saw, you know.
You feel it all the way across,
Yeah.
immediately touches your brain and says, that's it.
Yeah. And then there's other times, you know, I file a couple more times and okay, now we're there.
Right, I got you. Got it. Let the fingers tell the story.
Yep. Last tooth for this side.
Thing, but
No, the biggest thing is not undermining your gullet, I think, personally. So,
which would be to do what? Be getting down.
you see how this tooth here kind of goes straight out?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's flip this out over here real quick. See how these teeth here have a nice gradual moon hook to them?
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing to me is having. It's a lot of personal preference too, you know, on how aggressive you want your chain. So if you go in too deep with a gullet, you're gonna have a real sharp hook on your chain. It's gonna be super aggressive, and it's not gonna hold the edge very well. Whereas you have a nice gradual moon like this, it's gonna be somewhat aggressive. But then at the same time, it's going to hold the edge a heck of a lot better. I think the rakers, personally, are one of the most important things. Because if you just if you just leave your rakers at stock height and you just keep on sharpening your chain and
right.
You know, the teeth get smaller and smaller, at some point it's not going to cut.
Just going to bounce. Yeah. Not
and
going to
if
dig.
you file them down too far, then you're just going to be bucking and kicking and stalling. And, yeah, the only other thing too is trying to maintain kind of the same angle from side to side. So like this side here, like if you were to have a super steep angle, and this side you'd have like a flatter angle.
Right.
You might be cutting a little crooked.
Yeah. That goes back to that consistency what we were talking about a minute ago.
Do you see how far in the file goes here?
Mm-hmm.
From how undermined everything is in there. You come over to this one, you see where the file's sitting? Now, what I do to fix this is I just kind of pull straight up on the file and just let it slip out before my knuckles get to the chain. There you can see where how the file is cutting down into the chain itself. Now you see where the file's sitting?
Uh-huh.
I mean, a lot of it's personal preference too. Some people prefer a little bit steeper, some people prefer a little bit flatter. Now we'll go through and do your rakers after this too. You also see how this tooth is shorter than that tooth. That's fine.
No sweat.
No.
How short a tooth would you stop putting on your saws when you get to?
Well, I save the teeth and I take them right down to that line for firewood.
Is that right? Okay.
But for felling, I mean, I probably take them 1/8 inch or so above that line, and usually after that, just put a new chain on.
Okay.
Sharp chain will give you a lot more time to play with a chainsaw.
Yeah, right.
A lot more cutting time.
Somebody was saying about how are you're tightening your chain too much. You know, leave it loose or whatever.
Yeah, that's right where I'd put mine.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I just go so they can pull up and snap right back down. Like if you try pulling up, it's not moving. Loosen it a little bit, but if you get that little air room and snap it back down.
Okay.
I know some guys that run longer bars will run their chains a little bit looser. That way, when the chain comes off, they can just put their saw on the ground, pull the bar, and roll their chain back on without taking the bar and everything off.
Okay.
Yeah, that's impossible with these shorter bars, though.
But I would use a saw, sharpen it maybe twice. Let me rephrase that. I would use a saw, I would dull it a couple of times, and then take it to somebody to have it sharpened.
Another thing too, like when you're sharpening these, if you don't get all the way back to the chrome again, they'll just dull right away on you in a second. That's why.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can see like really well, you can see like where the shiny metal is, and you can see like where the bland, dullish metal is there in the tip. That's the shiny is the chrome, and like that duller metal, that's just the steel that's missing the chrome. One more tooth left. Then we'll get into the rakers. That won't take too long.
Let's say that going into the woods with a sharp saw, you cut, I don't know, 1, 2 trees maybe. You know you hadn't got into dirt or rocks or anything. You get a phone call, you have to leave, you have to go home. You start back the next morning, you might want to hit it a lick, right or wrong?
Yeah, I usually won't bother with it if I know I've only cut a couple trees.
Okay.
And the chain's fine. I'll just look at it.
Yeah.
Usually I'll spin the chain around once or twice, look for any little rounded points on there, and then I'll sharpen whatever tooth that needs to be sharpened.
Okay. Right.
I don't usually do every single tooth.
Okay.
Man, this is my favorite Raker gauge here. I don't want to make it too aggressive for us. So.
Are you trying to make a flat top on the Raker?
No, not necessarily.
It's just the height of it, just getting it the right height.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always want to try keeping that angle down a little bit. You know how they generally come when they're rounded.
Right.
Brand new. And then eventually, once you get down so far, they do start looking like they flatten down. But sometimes I'll take my file once it gets to that point, just go across the front of the tooth like that.
Okay.
Some of these aren't even hitting, so.
Which is going to cause it to want to dig in at that tooth, right?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit more aggressive.
Just for point of clarity from my point of view, when you put your gauge on there, this part is sitting on the tooth.
Correct.
And this is, and you're pretty flat.
Yeah, I roll it from side to side sometimes too, just to make sure.
Okay, all right.
But this is the softwood side. You see how much more meat would come off if we were to do softwood side? You run your finger over that.
Yeah, I see that. Pardon my ignorance. So the rakers are set at different depths, whether you're cutting softwood or hardwood?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now wait a minute. This is earth shattering. This is news. I didn't know that. Never heard that before in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Because softwood cuts so much easier than hardwood. Have you noticed the difference from cutting like oak or ash?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Pretty much what this is doing is, all right, I don't know the thousandths what you filed down for hardwood, but this file is pretty much saying your saw is going to be aggressive enough and safe enough to file at hardwood setting to cut hardwood. If you're cutting softwood, this is saying, okay, you're cutting softwood, your saw is going to have the power and it's going to be safe enough to file a raker stop more and be a little bit more aggressive and pulling more in the softwood.
Okay.
That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know.
Works for me.
But that right here is what's left of all the teeth we took off. Wow.
See, it was in great shape.
It was in beautiful shape.
Beautiful.
It was or wasn't.
It was sharper on the backside of the chain.
I'd have been better off if the chain was on backwards. Dave sharpened this saw. He sharpened my other saws too, but he sharpened this one. And just see, because I'm gonna tell you, he had to work on this thing. It was in awful shape. We got a poplar here that's about 17 inches. So we'll get a time on this. I'll go ahead and do one more. This time I'm not going to rock it back and forth. I'm just going to set it on there and go through. Now let me put a new blade, a new chain on there, and we'll see what it does. put on an Oregon full skip. It's an 18-inch bar. Brand new blade. That's walking it. This time I'm just going to go straight through and compare some times, hopefully. That's a cutting machine right there. All right. So maybe I got a little something that can tell a little bit of something about something we've been doing. But Davey, thanks a whole lot for sharpening my blade. Oh, let me run one time. I think he sharpened a. Give me one more chance. One more chance. Pretty sure he sharpened my 24-inch. This is a MS 391. We got all winter. I'm gonna go straight through. All I can say is again, thanks, Dave. I learned a lot from you and watching you, and my saw is cutting great.